Chugging along nicely in Supercoach at the moment. 1,057 wasn't really a great Sunday, let's be honest, but we finished off with Karaz getting injured, and that hurt us for sure, but still made a few ranks, and we're sitting just in the top 6,000, which is great at this stage of the season. I am noticing that I've saved a lot more trades than a lot of people and still have multiple boosts left, which is cool. And I'm not sure if I'm going to use it this week. Trades coming into this one, I think it's actually pretty difficult. It's a weird week where a lot of guys in the mid-range still have a bit of value to give, to create, or they're potentially close to keeper status, averaging 60, those type of guys in the 2RF, or your wing full, but your center wings there that are doing a solid job, still making a bit of cash, week to week can play them, but you're definitely guessing, and it's like, do you try and get rid of a couple of them, go down to a cheapie, and there's not really any good cheapies at the moment, so how do you go down to a good one and then upgrade around the traps? And we'll notice in my squad in a second that I have Wade Egan, but team value is really, really high, guys. 14 mil, 228, which is great. 35 trades remaining in this one. So we look to my squad, and Wade Egan's the biggest issue at the moment. So he hasn't been named again after having 2 11-day concussion turnarounds this year. So that's very, very frustrating for us. And the biggest issue here is that the fact that there's no real great hooking options. So really, options are to go to Jeremy Marshall-King, pretty much in a straight swap. I don't have enough cash to do that, but I am going to get rid of Karaz. So I would go down from Karaz, I think, to maybe a Joey Manu, and then go straight from Wade Egan to a Jeremy Marshall-King. That's definitely one option. Other option there is to go for a cheaper guy, like a Sonny Luke or a Brandon Smith, potentially. I could go Mitch Kenny. Those type of guys look okay. They're going to help out with, the main issue here is Grant's got the bye next week. We're not going to trade him out, I don't believe, just because it's such a poor position. So we need someone that's going to be able to be there next week. And I'm not sure if Wade Egan will be. I haven't heard any further information. Let me know in the comments if you have heard anything further on Wade there. But Jeremy Marshall-King could be the play. If I do go cheaper, you're going to be playing someone who's likely to score you a 30 to a 45 or something like that and not be great. So that's that with that situation at the moment. I'm still unsure on that one. Taps is out this week, so we'll take the reserve off him, especially if we're bringing in someone decent here for Wade. If we bring in Jeremy Marshall-King, we'll just reserve him in this one. And it might be the play, because considering the rest of the squad is not super exciting in terms of our reserves at the moment. Katoa scoring okay with 39. We've got Cleary and Walsh there. Thinking most likely I'm going to captain Hines in this one. I think that probably going to be the best play, just to really, they should really dominate on the weekend. I think Hines is going to be that guy to do that. So that's the play. Or it's VC Hines and Captain Trbojevic, but I don't have a guy to sub in as a non-playing guy to put the C on. So I think just probably going all out on Nico is going to be the play. Didn't really have his best game. Well, not much was going on, and he got a couple of line breaks there. So if he puts on a try, a couple of tries for other people and one for himself, then he could go absolutely nuts in this one, and that would be the play. But yeah, overall, team was going pretty good. Our biggest issue was center wing last week. 44 was our highest across our playing players. Every single person on our reserves there, Khan Pereira, Warbrick, and Alamotti, all performed better. So I think Warbrick could potentially be an option again this week. Khan Pereira maybe as well. So either one of those. Taruva's not getting enough balls, so I don't know if I can play him anymore. The other general thoughts was going pretty cheap up in the hooking position, and then going Karaz and Taruva there, or Karaz in one of these other center wings for a Garrick and also Joey Manu. That's my general thoughts at the moment. Let me know again in the comments what you think I should do there. That's the only plays. Every other position seems to be pretty steady at the moment. The 2RF I could muck around with, but Preston's my fourth best option, along with Fafita, Hosking, and Wilton. Seems like a solid play, and to only really have no Katoa for me, no Trent Liero, that is helpful in that sense, given the Storm bye next week. But Grant is going to be the main one out. So I think we need to have a solid player up there, or we just cop that this week and go absolutely nuts with Garrick and also Manu to pair Marzu and also Hammer. I think Hammer will have a better game this week as well against a slightly lesser opposition than what they faced last week. And we talked about at the start of this video, there's a bunch of these mid-range guys, Alamotti, Warbrick, Khan Pereira, all have gained plenty of cash and done a great job for us, but potentially could be time to move them on fairly soon. And I'd imagine Trbojevic has a pretty good week this week as well. So overall, we're sitting in a good position. I really think we can continue to push forward this week and going forward, and have plenty of trades up our sleeves for all the buy period positions there. I think that's going to be really helpful. I'm putting together a little bit of my own buy planning, which I'll demonstrate for you guys and show that in next week's video. Once I've kind of got that set and work out exactly what we need across that time, because round 13, 16, 19 is going to be really strange because you got 25 players, but only that starting 13 can get on the park. So it actually isn't going to be as hard as previous years when you're trying to get that full 17 across all of the weeks. I think that this is where having a couple of cheapies that aren't helping you at all are going to be fine unless they're in a position of power like hooker, the halves there, and the 5/8s, which you need to have that cover for guys that are going to be in Origin, for example there. So hoping there that Heinze doesn't make Origin for our squad, but other than that, I feel like our cover at the moment is fine, but there'll definitely hopefully be some cash cows that'll pop up here and there along the way. So that's my general trades and thoughts, and my buy, hold, sells going into this week. If you're looking at some scores from last week, some big ones from Latrell. Cody Walker there had some cracking games. Jai Arrow, he will continue to get bigger minutes, so he's a bit of an awkward price at the moment. We'll definitely play Origin, so I think he's an okay buy without being spectacular. Anyone else in the Dolphins, I still think Hammer's going to do pretty well from here, but definitely I don't think you should be buying him. Definitely don't sell him though. On the Bunny side, not too much else there. Murray had an average game there of 50. David Moale with 54. It was great news for us that held on to him. Just stick solid with him. Jacob Host is pretty cheap, so now that Kolomatangi is out, he's definitely a sell, guys. Host and also Cheekham are back in the fold, and Host the last couple of weeks has done alright, but don't expect much more than like a 45 to 50 from Hosty on a week-to-week basis. So that's that on there. Jed Cartwright still not worthy of a spot in your squad, that's for sure there. So let's go to Sharky's game. Brayley had a big outlier game. He's been averaging pretty poorly, 40s to 50s, and got to that 100, which is great. Nikora, still a great option, guys, if you want to grab him. I think Wilton's a hold. I've got him in my side, and I won't be running away to get rid of him. Mulatalo continues to score over 60 each and every week, which is great. McInnes there, 47, so he got extra minutes, but scoring-wise wasn't perfect for Supercoach here, so avoid him at this point, and that's really all on the Sharky side. For the Roosters there, Egan Butcher, another good game for him, but again, he's not someone you really want to push towards. Brandon Smith, big minutes the last 2 weeks. That sin bin really hurt him, but he's getting much better time on the park. Seems like his ribs are improved and aren't feeling as bad, and he's scoring better. So he's definitely half an option for sure if you're looking at someone at his price point in a hooking position. Then you've got guys like Teddy, Manu, going to be great buys going forward. Teddy, I think, getting that cheap now, still a hard break even, but surely he plays well at some point. And the Roosters have shook it up this week with Manu going to 6. Hopefully that can help him in his scores. So that'll be very interesting how that all plays out for sure. Let's move to the next game, which was Eagles and the Storm. So some decent scores across the park here, really just led by Cherry Evans. The rest of the squad, wasn't great overall. It's a bunch of 50s and 60s, which was fine. Pasek had a nice try assist there. Tommy, I think, as I said, we'll do a lot better coming into this week. Bullymore gets to start, but don't look at him, guys. Warbrick, I think, is a clear hold. You could almost play him this week, I think, up against the Warriors. Storm should bounce back after that bad loss to Manly in that one. Welchie, still a hold, guys. He potentially could be a sell next week, but again, the front row forward position, not great either. It's hookers and front rowers that are not great, and all the points are down below. Now that Garrick's going to come back and they have a slightly easier opponent, he could be a nice target. Expect a bounce back from Katoa. If you're looking at trading him, I get it, but he's also going to be a solid hold, and he hasn't scored a try this year, and I think that he's been scoring well without it, and I think he'll get one this week. That's my call anyway. Munster, 39 this week, just a bit of a shocker, but he's been great before that, so him back in the 6 role I think is great for him also. Let's go to Warriors Cowboys there, and scoring for them, there's a few high ones, but across the park again, there's so many games last week that were really low, so it's very hard to find buys in all of this. There's more like, can you hold a certain guy? If someone is going well, super exciting, but that's that. There on the Warriors side, it was a couple of tries for Johnson, did his job. Fanua Blake was much better, and he got a try as well, so keep him on your black book. Tohu Harris returning, got a 63, so you expect somewhere between 60 and 70 for him going forward, and Curran unfortunately back to the bench in this one. Ford should bounce back a bit. He hasn't been playing as well the last couple of weeks, even though the previous week to last he did pick up that try, so that's that there. And then on the other side, Cotter I think will score really well over the next bunch of weeks, probably around that 70 mark with that increased amount of minutes there. Granville to 52. I just don't see the minutes continuing, maybe around that 40 mark, and he could score pretty average sometimes, and then he could do okay and get you like a 35 to 45 in base there. So that's that. Drinkwater is eventually, hopefully, going to become an option. Val Holmes is a clear hold, guys. Don't worry about him. And I wouldn't touch Robson at the moment. Just wait and see what happens over the next bunch of weeks before he's obviously going to be really good buy cover. And hopefully he's someone you could partner Grant with. Okay, let's go to Knights Panthers, and Cleary ended up okay. Got a try assist, got a couple of, got a 40-20, couple of field goals, helped him out. Isaiah Yo's been great, guys. Still a solid option, guys. I think he's going to continue to score a try a week over the next bunch. I just feel like their run, apart from this Bunnies game, is going to be pretty solid, but he could still score in this one. And him, Edwards, Hosking, Tungle, these types of guys are going to continue to do really well. I'm not worried at all about the Panthers. I'd expect you to have multiple Panthers in your side. Obviously, Taruva is the only one that's kind of not scoring at the moment, unfortunately. Even he had to do a couple of tries himself and still only got like 50 for it, so not fun. Night side, Frizzell's been great. Hastings improving a bit. Crossland is in there. He's got the 5'8" and the halfbacks tag, so if you need someone in that position, he'll do a job for you. People are talking about Kurt Mann. I just think it's a little bit of a flash in the pan. You see over the last few years, he has these slightly bigger scores and then goes back to low points in similar minutes, so those big 50 to 60 minute games. Lockie Miller, a bit of a shocker from him. I think the Knights will improve this one, and they should beat the Cowboys going into that game. All right, Titans and Broncos. Walsh continues to dominate, so don't trade him out for a while. Unless he starts to struggle against some of these better teams, I think you can keep him in your side. He's just so electric, and try assists, the line breaks, the tries, they're coming thick and fast, and I think they can continue to. For Feeder, I think it's becoming a sneaky captaincy option. 82 in this one. I'm feeling a try coming on this week as well. So, yeah, get him in your sides, guys. I think he's going to do great. Yes, it could be a 5-game play with him potentially going to Origin, but he wasn't there for a lot of last year, so doesn't mean he's going to be there this year, even with the form. So it definitely helps his chances, but he has, he's been solid. But yeah, Tino, how bad's he been over the last bunch of weeks? Not good. 40 for him. Not ideal. Haas there, 73. Reynolds, 91. Both good scores from them. And, guys you want to have in your side. Reynolds, not as much. Obviously, you want Hines and Cleary, but Haas is that premier front row forward for sure. Outside backs for that game wasn't too exciting either. So no one's really a buy in that team, apart from, guys like Walshy. But, yeah, very expensive now, that's for sure. On the Raiders side, Tomoko continues to get through his work. So if you picked him up early in that mid-range there, then he's been great. Taps with his 57. I think in Supercoach he's a hold. Not ideal, really, and had a bit of a shocker in that game, but 57, he still manages to get that base, dual position. He's going to have a run all the way through to 16 after this buy, so if he can cover in this one, I think it's worth a hold. He'll have to get better because he's not going to want to be kind of dominated being out there. He's a premier front row forward in this game, so he definitely has to bounce back going forward there. Tautau Monga, welcome back to him. A great 98, but I don't think he's a buy, especially being his first week anyway. You don't get any price changes. Sloan there, 85. Bird, 60. A great center wing option, guys, if you want to have him in that as kind of that sure thing. Second row forward, which we don't really have too many of them in our game in the center position these days. So he's been good. Sua is out, so Ben Murdoch-Pasilla comes back for another run, which is great for all our sides. The cash cow that he is. What a man. Jack DeBellin. So he got 80 minutes last week, 52 points for him. So can't get any more minutes, and I can't see him having much more of a better game than that. So 50 to 60 will be about his scoring, and minutes will be somewhere around that 60 to 70, I'd say. He might play the odd 80 minutes, but not regularly, I would say. And then Eels and Doggies. So some big scores on the Eels side. Penasini, Madison, Campbell Gillard, Gutho, Sivo all did really well. Moses is 65, Brown is 60, and Hopgood is 61 if you hold on to him. So all good ones there. Penasini probably the most clear buy out of all of them. He's pretty expensive though now, so yeah, wouldn't say you missed the boat. You missed the boat on his price rises for the most part, but definitely probably a keeper in that center wing position. Anyone else in that team, I wouldn't really be looking to select. You got Hodgson back, and Hands goes back to that bench, and the Hopgood and Cartwright situation is a little bit weird. Given this is going to be Eels playing the second game of the round this week, that I think that's helpful for you to wait and see and make your trades heading into that, if you can lock in your Panthers and Rabbitohs players. And then on the right side there with the Doggies, Kingy had a cracking week, and if you're looking at picking him up, I doubt he's going to play those kind of minutes again, but that was that. Preston hopefully gets back to 80 minutes, but he had a nice line break in there for 59 points, and Pangai Jr. 53 in his return there, 47 minutes. Look, it's okay. He had lots of offloads and still only got 53. So I think you can watch him this week and kind of make your decision on that. He should be better for the run. Alamotti, 45 in this one, did get his first try of the year, so expect a few more of them across this season, but we're a little bit worried about Dogs and where they're going to be sitting come the next 4 or 5 weeks if they can come out and do pretty well. He has some okay games after this one, the tough one against the Sharkies there, and then it gets a little bit easier up until their bye in round 13. So that's that, guys. That's the review for my Supercoach squad, my potential trades. Yeah, let me know in the comments what you think on that, and I wish you all the luck heading into round 8, which is such a long round. Good luck, guys.